Amazing. Yeah, most actually, it's a good mention on that. Yeah, it's more of like the salt. You see, like in each and every meal that you cook, regardless of whether it is maybe sukuma wiki cabbages, whether it is potatoes and rice, and all these meals, what is there constantly, it is a salt. That is the same thing with mathematics. It is constant in all these fields. It is something that it is integrated in all these things. And you would really wonder what really makes it to be integrated in all these things. What makes it to be integratable to everything? It's because in each and every place, in each and every discipline, we always have a mention of numbers. You know, sometimes we usually tend to wonder what are really numbers are. You know, numbers like when we say about 2, 3, 1, it's something that actually started long time ago, even before you realized that numbers existed. Like, you know, like at home, usually have two kids that are there for my brother and my sister. You know, one is called Roy and one is called Rickson. There's a time that I went there with some snacks, and then I took 2 plates. I took the first plate, I placed it there, and another plate there. And then I just said, let me just do a random psychological test on these kids. On one plate, I placed 3/4 of the snacks, and the other one, 1/4 of the snacks. And then I told them, pick one. These are kids who don't know numbers. They don't have an idea of what mathematics is. And they even don't know whether there's something like 1 or 2 or 3. But you know what? They all went for the large proportion. But then how do we interpret that into numbers? Or rather, how do we interpret that in a way that people can understand? That's when we use numbers. Like before we started the interviews, I was keen and eager to listen to how you started. And one of the things that I realized is that you started with some numbers. You say that the percentage of people who are from 15 years to 35 years, they are 29% thereabout. And you see, that is something that you are bringing numbers on the table. Yet still, you are a journalist. Because there's a person who would wonder, like, how important is mathematics to a journalist? But you see, it is helping you to interpret that in terms of numbers. Yeah, the person who came before me, yeah, to measure whether he is the sales that is making, how profitable they are, which item is making more profit than the other. You see, she's using numbers. So it is something that is all across all fields. It is something that we cannot live without. That is our oxygen. Yeah.
Very interesting. Something that we cannot live without. Now, in our day-to-day lives, you know, most people don't realize that they're interacting with maths. For example, you go to a place and you're told, now we are going to have factorial clubs. You know, someone just know, I'm going to count 3, 2, 1, you know, not knowing that it is part of mathematics in the curriculum. Now, from where you sit, how has mathematics been beneficial for you as a person? Okay, apart from being a mathematics author, how has it been beneficial to you as a person?
Yeah, amazing. This is great. What I see all across is mathematics, numbers everywhere I go, to each and every association. Like currently I'm serving in different associations and organizations under different spheres. And each and every department that I serve, I use the element of numbers. And what have actually aided me to get into those spaces is what numbers have brought to me, because there are many things that are hidden in numbers. You know, as you've said that most of the times we don't realize interacting with numbers, yet we do interact with them. And sometimes you may wonder, why is that so? But it's because of how our brains are embedded, or how our brains function. You know, it is, there's a guy who is Ramon Weissajal in the year 1911. He brought the element of neurons and how they work, how they connect in the brain, and how all the brain is structured. You know, when you are learning mathematics, what you are doing is that there are some pathways of thinking that you are opening. But you see, you cannot see the activity that is happening in the brain, because it's something that is happening just at the back sense. The subconscious level of it. So what has that aided me is getting to build mathematical ability, and getting to build a strong mental thinking patterns, such that when possibly maybe having a certain challenge that I want to solve, Well, because I've developed that amplitude and I've developed that in depth of sitting with a problem for so long, and
Mm-hmm.
believing that every